Hey guys. One of the best things about summer camp is getting together with everyone for chapel and campfire. And as the way the summer 2020 has turned out, we'll definitely be missing those times with you guys. However, we have a plan to bring a little bit of chapel and campfire encouragement to you this summer.
Hey campers! Some of you might know me. My name is Chickadee. I have been involved with Camp Nakamun for a number of years now. Starting back in 2007, I was one of the counselors and I did that for a few summers. And then I joined the A team and I did that for a few summers. And then I was a speaker for a few summers and now I'm a board member. And so Camp Nakamun is a place that is really significant to me because of the relationships that I've made there, um, the people I've met, the work I've been able to do, and also for the journey that I was able to take in my faith and my relationship with God. And so I'm really enthusiastic about helping others to find their own relationships and journey and faith at Camp Nakamun. And I think Nakamun is a beautiful place to experience those things. And I really believe strongly in our mission to invite people to come out to our site and to encounter God and enrich relationships and to experience creation. Now, one way that I did that, especially as a speaker, was I would share stories. And I find for myself personally, stories are a really powerful way to encounter God, enrich relationships, and experience creation. So, starting in the Bible, um, which is full of stories of people encountering God, enriching relationships, experiencing creation, for us to learn from. And then also through stories that I just read in my personal life as well. And so, since we won't have the opportunity to do chapel or campfire together this summer, the same way we typically would in a summer camp way, we thought maybe we could just share some videos with you of story time with Chickadee, where I'll share with you one of my favorite stories, talk about why it's meaningful to me, what I've learned from it, invite you to consider some things about the story, and then we would love for you to share with us how that story connected with you personally. So, um, over the weeks, I'll introduce a different book, and we invite you to access the book sometimes, maybe through an ebook or through your public library, or maybe you have the book, and that'd be awesome. Sit down with some people around you and read it together, discuss it together, and share your thoughts with us at camp too.
As Chickadee said, our mission is all about helping you connect. And we'd love to hear the ways that you found to make this mission come to life in your own community. You can share your ideas in the comments or in an email or shoot a short video. We'd love to hear from you and then share your experiences with the Nakamun community. And please take some time to watch these videos with your kids. I hope that these sessions will inspire and encourage you in your walk with God this summer. And now, without further ado, here's our first story session with our friend Chickadee.
Hey campers! So, the book I have for you this week is called The Dark by Lemony Snicket, and it is illustrated by John Clausen. And The Dark is about this boy here. His name is Laszlo, and he is afraid of the dark. And he talks about how the dark lives in his big house with him. And this big house has a creaky ceiling, and it has these big cold glass windows, and the dark lives behind the shower curtain and in the closets, but it mostly spends its time in the basement here. And so Laszlo makes sure every day to come and visit the dark in the basement. And he hopes that if he visits the dark in the basement, then the dark won't come up and visit him in his room. But one night, the dark does. And so this book is all about how Laszlo becomes familiar with the dark, even though he's afraid of the dark. And I really like the realization that Laszlo has at the end of the story. I won't spoil it for you, though. And so why I think this book has been so important for me is, I don't know about you, but I've been afraid many times in my life. There's been all kinds of things that scare me. Like, for example, the first day at camp is always scary, right? You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know if you're going to make friends. First day of school is scary. I've done a couple of things too where I've moved to different schools in completely different parts of the world, and that's been scary. And so fear is something that we all face. Even the last few months have been scary for a number of reasons. We've had the things we're used to taken away or changed unexpectedly, and sometimes that can be really scary. Now, what this book reminds me of is that God tells us to fear not. So in Isaiah 41:10, I think about the verse, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And this book kind of reminds me about that. And as I look back at those moments in my life where I maybe felt scared, I was able to walk forward knowing that God was with me, knowing that God was going to strengthen me. And because of that, those experiences that seemed scary at first, I'm able to see now how God was able to use them in my life. How the different scary places that he brought me to, because they were unfamiliar, because they were new, I was able to make new friends, experience new relationships, who ultimately helped me to learn a lot about myself, helped me to learn a lot about how to love God's people, right? And so those things that were scary to me, walking forward with them, knowing God was with me, really helped me to see why those scary moments were really important for my life. And so what I invite for you to do is find this book, maybe at your local library. Maybe you can find the ebook online. Usually at camp, we do it at the campfire, and then we talk about it with our cabin groups. And since we don't have cabin groups this week, maybe with your family or a group of friends, or friends from church sometimes too, we're able to get together safely with. And maybe you want to read this story together and then talk about, what are some things in our life that seem scary, that can make us feel afraid? And how can we trust God in moving through that? Or maybe you can think about a time when you were afraid and God helped you walk through it. And then what you learned through that experience, and how you could see that, God was with you, and God used that moment for enriching his relationship with you. If you'd love to share with us the reflections you have or the connections you have with the story, what you thought, or maybe it makes you think of another book that is really meaningful to you, a different verse, a different story from the Bible, we invite you to share that with us at Camp Nakamun, and you can either comment on the video or you can email it in. Thanks, campers, for joining me this week, and I can't wait to share another story.